The wounded Starlight, the mining station Epsilon 7, drifted silently through the asteroid belt, its metal hull gleaming under the distant light of 3 suns. Marcus Chun wiped sweat from his forehead as he finished checking the ore processors. For the 3rd time that day, as the station's only remaining engineer, he had grown used to the solitude. Most of the crew had transferred to newer facilities months ago, leaving him alone with just the automated systems and his thoughts. Marcus had volunteered to stay behind. Someone needed to oversee the final extraction operations, and he preferred the quiet of space to the crowded stations near Earth. At 35, he had spent half his life working on mining platforms, and the rhythmic hum of machinery had become as comforting as a heartbeat. The asteroid field around Epsilon 7 was supposedly empty of life. These rocks had been floating in space for millions of years, cold and barren. That's why Marcus nearly jumped out of his skin when his proximity sensors began screaming at 2 in the morning. Something large had just crash-landed on the station's outer hull dot. Marcus pulled on his environmental suit and grabbed his emergency toolkit. The airlock hissed as he stepped into the maintenance corridor that ran along the station's exterior. His helmet lights cut through the darkness, revealing twisted metal and scorch marks. Whatever had hit them had been moving fast and was badly damaged. He followed the trail of destruction until he found it. The creature lay crumpled against a support beam, and Marcus had to blink several times to make sure he wasn't hallucinating. It looked like a wolf, but unlike any Earth animal he had ever seen. Its fur appeared to be made of living crystal, each strand catching and reflecting light like tiny prisms. The creature was roughly the size of a large dog, with 4 legs and a long, graceful tail that now lay motionless against the metal floor dot. Most shocking of all, the creature was clearly injured. Deep gashes ran along its side, and a strange blue fluid leaked from the wounds. The liquid sparkled like liquid starlight as it floated in the zero-gravity environment. Marcus approached slowly, his engineer's mind racing. The creature's chest rose and fell in a steady rhythm, so it was definitely alive. But what was it? How had it survived the vacuum of space? And why did looking at it make him feel a strange sense of recognition, as if he had seen such beings in half-remembered dreams? The creature's eyes suddenly opened, and Marcus gasped. They were like looking into deep space itself, filled with swirling galaxies and distant stars. The eyes focused on him, and for a moment, Marcus felt as though the creature was looking directly into his soul. Then those magnificent eyes began to dim, and the creature's breathing became labored. Marcus didn't hesitate. He had spent years learning to make quick decisions in dangerous situations, and his instincts told him this being needed help immediately. He carefully scooped up the creature, surprised by how light it felt despite its size. The crystal fur was warm to the touch, even through his gloves. Back in the station's medical bay, Marcus worked frantically to save the strange visitor. His medical training was limited to basic first aid, but he did his best to clean and seal the wounds. The creature remained unconscious throughout the process, its breathing growing steadier as Marcus worked. The blue fluid that served as the creature's blood was unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. Under the medical scanner, it showed energy patterns that defied conventional physics. The creature's entire body seemed to be composed of some form of crystallized energy, held together by forces that human science barely understood. As hours passed, Marcus found himself talking to the unconscious creature. It was a habit he had developed during his years of solitude, speaking his thoughts aloud to the empty corridors. "I don't know what you are," he said softly, adjusting the creature's position on the medical table. "But you're hurt, and you're alone. I know what that feels like." The creature's ear twitched, and Marcus wondered if it could hear him. He continued working, using every medical supply he had to help his unexpected patient. The station's food synthesizer provided basic nutrients, which Marcus carefully administered through a 4-line dot by the end of the first day. The creature's condition had stabilized. The wounds had stopped bleeding, and its breathing was strong and regular. Marcus had set up a makeshift bed in the medical bay and refused to leave the creature's side. On the second day, something remarkable happened. The creature's crystal fur began to glow with soft, pulsing light. The glow started at the creature's chest and spread outward, creating patterns that reminded Marcus of constellations. The medical scanners detected massive energy readings, far beyond anything the station's equipment could properly measure. "What are you?" Marcus whispered, watching in amazement as the light show continued. The creature's eyes opened, and this time they were fully alert. It lifted its head and looked directly at Marcus. When it tried to stand, Marcus gently placed a hand on its side. "Easy there," he said. "You've been badly hurt. You need to rest." To his surprise, the creature settled back down, as if it understood his words. It continued to watch him with those incredible star-filled eyes, and Marcus felt a strange warmth spreading through his chest. It wasn't physical warmth, but something deeper, as if the creature was somehow touching his mind. Over the next few days, Marcus and the creature developed a routine. Marcus would check on his patient every few hours, bringing food and water. The creature seemed to understand that Marcus was helping it, and it never showed any signs of fear or aggression. The creature's recovery was remarkable. Its wounds healed at an impossible rate, leaving no scars on the crystal fur. More importantly, Marcus began to notice signs of intelligence that went far beyond any Earth animal. The creature would watch Marcus work on the station's systems, its head tilting as if it was trying to understand the machinery. One evening, as Marcus was running diagnostics on the ore processors, he felt a presence behind him. He turned to find the creature standing in the doorway, fully healed and radiating that soft, star-like glow. But something was different. The creature seemed larger, more majestic, and its eyes held a depth of knowledge that made Marcus's breath catch. "You're not just an animal, are you?" Marcus asked softly. The creature took a step forward, and Marcus felt that strange mental warmth again, stronger this time. Images flashed through his mind. Vast space battles, ancient technologies, and beings of pure energy fighting to protect something precious. The visions were fragmentary, but they filled Marcus with a sense of purpose he had never felt before. The creature approached Marcus slowly, then did something that made his heart skip. It lowered its head and gently touched Marcus's hand with its nose. The moment of contact sent a surge of energy through Marcus's body, and suddenly he could feel the creature's emotions as clearly as his own. Gratitude. That was the strongest emotion, a gratitude so deep and pure that it brought tears to Marcus's eyes. But there was also something else, a sense of awakening, as if the creature had been sleeping for a very long time and was only now beginning to remember what it truly was. "You're welcome," Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. "I couldn't just leave you to die." The creature's glow intensified, and Marcus felt another surge of images. This time, he saw the truth. The creature wasn't just some lost animal. It was a guardian, a protector of something ancient and powerful. And it had been fleeing from enemies who wanted to capture or destroy it. As if summoned by his thoughts, the station's alarm systems suddenly activated. The proximity sensors had detected multiple ships approaching fast. Marcus rushed to the command center, the creature following close behind. The scanner showed 3 vessels bearing down on Epsilon 7. They were sleek, predatory-looking ships with energy signatures that Marcus didn't recognize. But the creature beside him tensed, its crystal fur bristling with alarm. Pirates, Marcus breathed, reading the energy patterns. These weren't legitimate vessels. They were hunters, and they had found what they were looking for. The lead ship's communications array crackled to life, and a harsh voice filled the command center. Mining station, this is Captain Vex of the Void Hunters. You are harboring stolen property. Surrender the crystal Wolf immediately, and we might let you live. Marcus looked down at the creature, which was now glowing so brightly that it lit up the entire command center. The creature's eyes met his, and Marcus felt a wave of determination wash over him. I don't think so, Marcus said, cutting the communication. Channel. The creature beside him began to change. Its form started to shift and grow, the crystal fur rippling with energy. Marcus watched in awe as the being that had been masquerading as a simple animal began to reveal its true nature. The transformation was beginning, and Marcus realized that everything he thought he knew about his mysterious visitor was about to change forever. Asterisk. The Guardian's awakening. The crystal Wolf's transformation was unlike anything Marcus had ever witnessed. Light poured from every strand of its fur, and its body began to stretch and expand. The creature's limbs elongated, and its posture shifted, from 4 legs to 2 as it took on a more humanoid form. When the blinding light finally faded, Marcus found himself face to face with a being of incredible beauty and power. She stood nearly 7 feet tall, with the same crystal-like skin that seemed to contain entire galaxies. Her hair flowed like liquid starlight, and her eyes held the wisdom of ages. She was clearly female, with a graceful, warrior-like build. That spoke of both strength and elegance. I am Zara, she said, her voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate through Marcus's very soul. Guardian of the stellar heart, protector of the ancient ways, and now ... your eternal ally. Marcus stared in stunned silence. The creature he had nursed back to health was not just intelligent, but clearly belonged to a species far more advanced than humanity. You're not really a wolf. The form you first saw was my hibernation state, Zara explained, her star-filled eyes never leaving his face. When I was gravely wounded, my body automatically shifted to conserve energy. I have been in that form for many cycles, slowly healing from injuries that should have killed me. The pirates, Marcus said, remembering the approaching ships. They're after you. Zara nodded grimly. They seek the stellar heart, an artifact of immense power that my people have guarded for millennia. I was transporting it to a secure location when they ambushed me. The artifact is hidden within my being, protected by bonds that can only be broken by my death. The station shuddered as energy weapons struck the outer hull. The pirates weren't waiting for a response. We need to get you out of here, Marcus said, moving toward the emergency evacuation pods. No. Zara's voice was firm, and she placed a hand on his shoulder. The touch sent waves of warmth through Marcus's body. I will not run again, and I will not allow harm to come to the one who saved my life. Marcus felt something shift in the air around them. Power was building, crackling with energy that made his hair stand on end. Zara's form began to glow again, but this time the light was different. It was focused, purposeful, and somehow protective. What's happening? Marcus asked. I am forming a guardian bond, Zara replied. By ancient law, one who shows mercy to a fallen guardian becomes blood bonded to them. You risked your life to save mine, Marcus-chun. Now your life becomes as precious to me as my own. Marcus felt something warm and permanent settle in his chest, like a second heartbeat that matched his own. The sensation was overwhelming, but not uncomfortable. It felt like coming home. Does that mean? It means I will protect you with every fiber of my being, Zara said solemnly. And it means you now carry a fragment of my power within you. We are connected until the stars burn out. The station shook again, more violently this time. The pirates were no longer content to wait. Guardian or not, Marcus said, we're outnumbered. 3-1. This mining station isn't built for combat. Zara smiled, and for the first time, Marcus saw something predatory in her expression. Perhaps not, but I am. She moved to the command center's main console and placed her hands on the controls. Immediately, the station systems began to respond in ways Marcus had never seen. Power flowed through circuits that had been dormant for years. The mining lasers, designed to cut through asteroids, suddenly swiveled to track the approaching ships. "How are you doing that?" Marcus asked, watching in amazement as his familiar equipment transformed into something far more sophisticated. "Your technology is primitive but adaptable," Zara explained, her hands dancing over the controls. "I am simply encouraging it to exceed its original parameters." The first pirate ship opened fire with a massive energy cannon. The beam struck the station's shields, which shouldn't have existed. But Zara had somehow activated defensive systems that Marcus didn't even know were installed. The station's original builders were more paranoid than you realized, Zara said, reading his confusion. They installed military-grade defensive systems and disguised them as mining equipment. Your people have a talent for hiding their true capabilities. The second ship moved to flank them, but Zara was ready. The mining lasers fired in perfect synchronization, creating a web of energy that caught the pirate vessel in its grip. Ship's shields flared and died, and the vessel began to drift, its engines dead. "One down," Marcus said, feeling a surge of pride and excitement. The third ship was more cautious, hanging back and firing from long range. But Zara had more tricks to reveal. She pressed her hand against the station's main power core, and Marcus felt the entire facility transform around them. The mining station. Epsilon 7 had become something new, something that combined human engineering with Guardian technology. The hull plates shifted and reconfigured themselves, creating weapon arrays that shouldn't have been possible. The station's artificial gravity fluctuated, and Marcus realized that Zara was using the gravity generators as weapons. "This is impossible." The pirate captain's voice crackled over the communication system. "No mining station has this kind of firepower." "Your mistake," Zara replied, her voice carrying across all frequencies, "was assuming that humans are as weak as they appear. Marcus Chun represents the best of his species: courage, compassion, and the ability to adapt under pressure. You should have left him alone." The remaining pirate ships coordinated their attack, firing everything they had at the station. But Zara was no longer just defending. She was hunting. The station's engines, never designed for combat maneuvering, somehow managed to execute a complex series of evasive maneuvers. The mining platform danced between the pirate ships like a fighter craft, its improvised weapon systems firing with inhuman precision. Marcus watched in awe as his companion single-handedly turned his humble mining station into a weapon of incredible power. But more than that, he could feel Zara's emotions through their bond. She wasn't just fighting to protect the artifact she carried. She was fighting to protect him. The battle was over in minutes. The pirate ships, designed to prey on helpless merchants and miners, were no match for a Guardian in full combat mode. 2 ships drifted powerless in space, their crews unconscious from Zara's non-lethal attacks. The third ship, Captain Vex's flagship, was intact but trapped in a gravity well of Zara's creation. "This isn't over, Guardian," Vex's voice snarled. "Over the communication system. The Void Hunters will never stop hunting you." "Then they will find me ready," Zara replied calmly. "But they will also find that I am no longer alone." She released the gravity well, and the pirate ship fled into hyperspace. Marcus suspected they would never return. As the station's systems returned to normal, Marcus found himself alone with Zara in the command center. The Guardian's glowing form had dimmed to a soft, warm light that filled the room with a sense of peace. "What happens now?" Marcus asked. "Now," Zara said, moving to stand beside him, "I fulfill my purpose. The stellar heart must be delivered to its destination. But first, I have a choice to make." "What kind of choice?" Zara turned to face him. star-filled eyes reflecting depths of emotion that Marcus was only beginning to understand. I can complete my mission alone, as I was trained to do, or I can invite you to join me on a journey that will take us to the farthest reaches of the whole galaxy. Marcus felt his heart skip. You're asking me to leave with you? I am asking you to become my partner, Zara said simply. The guardian bond we share is powerful, but it is not a chain. You are free to choose your own path, but know that wherever you go, I will be there to protect you. And wherever I go, you will be welcome at my side. Marcus looked around the mining station that had been his home for so long. It had always felt like a prison, a place where he hid from the complexities of human society. But now, with Zara beside him, the entire universe seemed to be opening up. What would I do out there? He asked. I'm just a mining engineer. You are the human who showed mercy to a stranger, Zara replied. You are the engineer who turned a mining station into a weapon. You are the man who earned the loyalty of a guardian. You are far more than you know, Marcus Chun. Marcus felt the warmth of their bond pulse in his chest. For the first time in his life, he felt truly needed, truly valued. And more than that, he felt the call of adventure, the promise of wonders beyond imagination. When do we leave? He asked. Zara's smile was like watching stars being born. As soon as you are ready. The galaxy is vast, and there are many who need protecting. With your ingenuity and my power, we can make a difference. As Marcus began to pack his few possessions, he realized that his life had just taken a turn he never could have imagined. He was no longer just a mining engineer working in the asteroid belt. He was the bonded partner of a guardian, a protector of ancient secrets, and an adventurer about to explore the wonders of the galaxy. The mining station Epsilon 7 would continue its automated operations, but Marcus Chun was heading for the stars. And beside him, her crystal form radiating warmth and protection, walked Zara, the guardian who had pledged her life to keep him safe. Together, they would face whatever challenges the universe might throw at them. And Marcus had a feeling that their greatest asterisk